All right, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're digging into a source article that asks a really blunt question about a town that's, well, kind of blowing up, Avon, Indiana. So let's see what all the fuss is about, shall we? So yeah, the article puts it right out there. Why on earth would you move to Avon, Indiana? And you know what? We're going to break down exactly how it answers that question. We'll look at everything it points to, the jobs, the schools, the whole vibe of the place. Okay, so first up, the article doesn't just treat Avon like some random town. Right away, it labels it a Midwest hidden gem that's getting a ton of attention and, more importantly, a ton of new residents. So what's really going on here? Let's start with a basic number. According to the source, we're talking about a population of roughly 23,700 people. So, it's not a huge city by any means, but it's definitely not a sleepy little village either. But the really interesting part is, it's growing, and growing pretty fast, at about 1.8% every year. Now, that kind of steady growth tells you something, right? It suggests people are actively choosing to come here. The article argues this is no accident. And that leads us right into the first big reason why. So what's the number one pull factor? Well, it all boils down to one simple thing: location, location, location. The article's big claim is that Avon gives you all the perks of a major city without any of the headache. And this right here is really the heart of Avon's appeal, according to the source. It's pitched as that perfect sweet spot. You're close enough to get into all the action, but you get to live somewhere that actually feels peaceful and quiet. I mean, think about it like this. You can pop over to Indianapolis for a Colts game, maybe a nice dinner, whatever you want. And then you can drive home to these quiet, tree-lined streets. The article really sells this as a huge upgrade to your quality of life. And here's the magic number that makes it all possible: about 24 minutes. That's the average commute time to get right into downtown Indianapolis. That's shorter than what a lot of people spend commuting in suburbs of other big cities. It makes that best of both worlds thing feel less like a sales pitch and more like a reality. All right, next up, let's talk about something we all care about: the bottom line, money. The article makes a really compelling case that living in Avon is just a smart financial move, especially when you look at the rest of the country. Okay, get this. The source puts the median home value somewhere between $345,000 and $380,000. And yeah, prices are going up, but that's still way below the national average. What does that mean for you? It means you get more house and probably a bigger yard for your money. The article even gives some specific shout-outs to neighborhoods you might want to check out. It mentions Bridgewater, which is a big master plan community, and also places like Avon Trails and Lakeland Farms. It flags all of these as fantastic spots for families or even first-time home buyers. And it's not just about the mortgage. The article gives Avon a solid B for its overall cost of living. It points out that things like lower taxes and cheaper utilities really add up, making the whole financial picture look even better. Now, that affordability we just talked about, it ties directly into the next big point. The source argues Avon isn't just a place with affordable houses. It's a community that's literally built with families in mind. And where's the proof? Well, according to the article, you start with the schools. And honestly, the numbers here are pretty impressive. The school district gets an A+ overall from Niche. And on great schools, a lot of the individual schools are scoring a 9 or even a perfect 10 out of 10. For parents, that's a huge deal. But it goes beyond the classroom, right? The source paints this picture of a town with tons of parks, super low crime rates. We're talking high safety grades for neighborhoods, and a calendar that's just packed with community events. Stuff like the Hendricks County Rib Fest or Harvest Hay Rides. It's all about creating that supportive, fun environment to raise kids. Okay, but a great place to live has to be a great place to work too. That brings us to the next piece of the puzzle: Avon's booming economy and its connection to the whole regional job market. First off, you've got some pretty big job opportunities right there in Avon. The source calls out major employers like Harlan Bakeries, IU Health West Hospital, and you've got your big box stores like Costco and Walmart. All of that creates a really solid local job base. But the story doesn't end at the town's border. Remember that short commute we talked about? Well, that's basically a key that unlocks a much, much bigger job market in the area. This means people living in Avon have easy access to these massive corporations in things like healthcare, pharmaceuticals, and logistics. We're talking huge names like Eli Lilly, Roche Diagnostics, and Amazon. It just creates this incredibly diverse and stable job market for residents. So, after laying out this whole case,
You've got the great location, the affordability, the family-friendly vibe, and the jobs. How does the source wrap it all up? Let's take a look at the final verdict.
I just love this quote. It's pulled directly from the article. Avon's the upgrade people didn't know they needed. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up the conclusion that finding Avon isn't just a random move, it's a real step up in life.
So, just to recap the whole argument for Avon, it really comes down to the 4 big things we've covered. Its awesome location near Indianapolis, a cost of living that's actually affordable, a top-notch environment for families, and access to a really strong and diverse job market.
And you know, all of this leaves us with one final thought. The story of Avon, as our source tells it, feels like it's part of a much bigger conversation happening right now. It really makes you wonder, as more and more people are looking for that perfect balance between career opportunities and a great quality of life, is the search for the next hidden gem suburb the new American dream? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.